Hello, and thanks for tuning into this video where we're going to learn how to play Pass the Pigs by Winning Moves Games. Pass the Pigs is a lot like a dice rolling game, except for we're rolling pigs instead of dice and scoring points depending on the way that they land. So in the contents of the box, you'll get your pigs, a cup that you can use to roll the pigs if you'd like, a pencil, a little score pad along with a diagram that shows how many points you score depending on the way that the pigs land. Now, if you're a Together Unplugged subscriber though, you're going to get all of that in a reusable resource here that we created, all the directions and rules on one side, the scoring guide here on the reverse side, as well as a place right here for you to keep your scores. And you can do all that with a dry erase marker and use this over and over again. So the object of the game is to be the first person to get 100 points, or you can choose to play a longer game and do 200, 300, or whatever your group decides to do. On each turn, you're going to continue to roll the pigs, keeping track of the points that you earn, until you decide that you want to play it safe and pass the pigs to the next player, at which point you'll record the points that you accumulated at that time in one of these boxes. Trying to, again, be the first person to get to 100 or whatever number that you predetermine. So let's go through each of these and show how they work. A pig out happens if one pig lands on one side and another lands on the other side. And the way that you can tell that is because there's a dot on one side of the pig and not on the other. So if they land like that, you lose all the points that you have at that point during that turn. Not all the points that you've accumulated earlier in the game, but let's say I was rolling and I was up to 20 and then I got a pig out. I'd lose all those points. Again, keep the points I had from earlier in the game, but then I'd have to pass the pigs over to the next player. For a sider, you earn 1 point, and that's if the pigs land on the same side. So they both land on the dot side, or they both land on the non-dot side. That would earn you 1 point. A trotter earns you 5 points. The way that happens is if one pig is standing up, and then the other pig is on the side, and it can be on either side, that wouldn't matter. That would earn you 5 points. A razorback is if one of the pigs is flat on its back with its hooves pointed straight up, and again, the other pig is on either side. That's also worth 5 points. A snouter is worth 10 points, and that is if one of the pigs is leaning up on its snout like that, but not over to the side leaning on one ear. That's going to be a different position we'll talk about in a minute. But if it's leaning straight up onto its snout, that's going to earn you those 10 points. And again, that's if the other pig is on one of its sides. A leaning jowler is the one that I was just talking about there. If it's leaning over to one side like that, and the other pig is on one of its sides, that would score you 15 points. Okay, and then we also have where both pigs might land in one of those positions. So you'll see those here. A double trotter is going to get you 20, double razorback also 20, double snouter is worth 40, and a double leaning jowler is pretty hard to get, and that will earn you 60 points. We also have mixed combos. So if we had one pig that landed as a trotter, and one pig that landed as a razorback, then we would add those two together. So the trotter is worth 5, the razorback is worth 5, so that would earn you 10 points. An oinker is not good. If you roll the pigs and they are leaning on each other in any way and touching, let's say like that, that's an oinker, and you're going to lose all your points for the entire game. So whatever number of points you've scored up to that point, you might be up to 95 points and close to winning. If you get an oinker, you're going back to 0. Okay, the last one we need to talk about is a piggyback. Now in the instructions for the game, it says that if a piggyback happens, which is like this, one standing on top of the other, that you automatically lose the game. It's hard to even place them like that. There we go. I'm not sure that it's actually possible. It's never happened when we've played. So we actually suggested in our rules here that you might want to make that the person automatically wins the game instead of losing the game, since it seems pretty impossible to occur. And that's it. That's how all the scoring works for Pass the Pigs. Like I said before, you keep rolling and adding up your points until you feel like you don't want to be risky anymore. So say you've rolled a few times and you've accumulated 15 or 20 or 25 points. If you don't want to risk getting a pig out, which again is one pig on one side and one on the other side, and this happens a fair amount of times, the most likely position I would say for the pigs to land is on their side. So it can happen fairly frequently. So you can risk however much you want to, though, and see how many points you can get each time. And the more you play, the more you'll kind of get a feel for how many points you want to stop and go ahead and pass the pigs on. But we hope that your family has lots of fun playing Pass the Pigs together. We thank you for watching the video. Goodbye.